every Bears game on FM 100.3 HD2 ESPN Chicago.
All right, let's hear from Ryan Poles, the general manager. He talks every week to the voice of the Bears, Jeff Joniak. He's brought to you by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Save up to $4,000 on new furnaces and comfort systems with Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. For all the right reasons, call 866-4Seasons. Here's the general manager, Ryan Poles.
All right, thanks a lot, Mark. Back home for a couple of weeks. Should this help a bit? Just getting back into the groove in front of the home crowd here with Bears general manager Ryan Poles. We all could use a little home cooking, right?
Yeah, we need a little home cooking, get back to Soldier Field in front of our fans who I know are going to be juiced up and ready to see their team.
Yeah, it does mentally, though, help players too.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're home in that home routine, it feels right. There's less, airplane travel and all that. Guys can get right into their routine before the game, and it's comfortable to them. And obviously, just getting the energy from the city and their own fan base is critical.
Yep, and a chance to get the 2-2 against the Rams. A lot to unpack in a game like last week in Indy. What stuck out to you that you feel can be built on?
Our defense continues to play well, create turnovers, and they're playing at a high level, which is great to see. I love that, Caleb got into a rhythm from the passing side of things, creating some explosive plays, distributing the ball to a lot of different parts of our offense that we knew were going to be good this year. We can build on that.
Exactly. The Adunze, DJ, Komet trio. And there are other players that over time this is going to be in the step in the right direction as well. Keenan Allen coming back, for example.
And then you add Keenan into that mix, and, that's going to put a defense in a tough position in terms of how they're going to, play to our strengths and really allow us to have some really, optimal looks to throw in and to run on.
All right. Let's from your lens, how do you evaluate the response this week in the building on the series or decisions that didn't work out on Sunday?
Yeah, that's what I love about this group. Our coaches and players got together, really looked at where we came up short and are attacking that. I love the dialogue that's going back and forth from player to coach, coach to player. We pride ourselves on being a learning organization that can look in the mirror and find where our struggles are and attack those to improve for the next week and continue to get better.
Yeah. For example, I'm sure you're referring to also Waldron hearing from the Players Leadership Council, tell it like it is in the name of improvement and winning. How do you take that? Because without communication, you're dead in the water.
Absolutely. And that's a critical partnership, player to coach and coach to player. You got to have that dialogue going back and forth and a high level of communication. One thing we've talked a lot about in this offseason is feedback in every area, from the front office to our coaches to our performance staff. We constantly want feedback to make sure we're getting and understanding everyone's perspective. That way we can find answers quick.
Yeah. Somebody always takes the blame on the outside, but internally, we don't know what's going on. So we know that there's work being done at all times. This is a never-ending pursuit. So you're pleased with that aspect.
Yeah, very pleased with that. We have a very mature group that knows how to handle those situations. And again, that relationship and communication is critical to improve, because as you go along the season, you have to get better and better and better and attack those weaknesses, because that's what your opponent's going to do. So I love the dialogue that's happening in our building. Well,
I tell you, it also sets a sail for a rookie quarterback at this point in his life to see this and how it works properly. And Caleb, by virtue of that, improving every week, numbers say so, despite a modest run game and no Keenan and injuries and whatnot. What do you love about his attitude right now? And, he said, hey, if we have to throw 50, we have to throw 50. I'll hand it off, whatever it takes to win.
Yeah, he's highly competitive, and he'll do whatever it takes to put the team in a position to win football games. And he continues to grow as a professional player. Again, having conversations with Shane and Kerry about, what can he do and what can we do as an offense to put him and our team and our offense in a really good situation where we can win football games, because that's one thing about Caleb Williams is he hates to lose. So really, it's been cool to see him do whatever it takes to put our team in a position to win.
I had a conversation with Chad Morton, the running back coach, the other day, simplified exactly what the running game should look like. And that it will come. But a guy like DeAndre Swift, he's not sulking. He's looking for answers.
Yeah, Yep. Again, one of our leaders on this football team. I love his approach. Always have. Again, when things aren't going exactly the way that you want them, you always look at those types of guys to see how they're approaching it. How are they trying to fix the struggles that they're having, so that we can get it right? And if we become balanced and get our run game going and match it with the pass game that we saw this past week, we're going to be in a really good position.
Offense is no different than a recipe. It takes ingredients. Do you need to add a little bit of this? Do you have to take a little bit of less ingredient here to make it taste better? Is this what's going on also?
Absolutely. And that's what September is around the league. You're constantly seeing teams trying to figure out who they are and establish an identity. And what do you need a little bit more of? What things do you need to adjust based on the personnel and how guys are playing to start the season? So we need to, find that perfect recipe. And I believe we're getting closer and closer. And we should see today that it's coming together.
One of the things you hope for, but you can't guarantee, is continuity on an offensive line. I heard a stat. Jim Miller from SiriusXM said 90 offensive linemen are already hurt this year. So if you do the math, it's at least 3 a team. And I'm talking about guys that you're counting on. That's an absurd number. I don't know. I mean, and you're dealing with it as well. I don't know how you frame that as a GM. You can never have enough, I guess, but does that seem a little outlandish to you?
Yeah, that's a high number, but that's the reason why, we have 9 guys on our 53-man roster now, and guys that are capable of helping us, from the practice squad as well. And I'm happy with the depth that we have. But for us to make sure that all 5 are working together, that's the critical piece. And as guys go up and down from injury, getting them to be on the same page with communication and their footwork and technique is critical. So I've mentioned before, it's very hard to have that starting 5 be the starting 5, at the very end of this season. So we have to figure out a way to make sure that continuity is being put together as the season goes along and new guys are getting popped in there. So we work hard at that. We're aware of it. We have a good system for that. And again, I'm looking forward to that group getting off to a really good start today.
All right, Matt Pryor, right guard, you're keeping him there this week, Eberflus and Chris Morgan. What do you like about that size? He's a mammoth human being. We touched on it a little bit. Flus talked about giving a firmer pocket in the passing game and whatnot. What else?
So the anchor part in the pass game is really good, which is critical for any quarterback to have the depth of the pocket be established. And I really like the movement he can get in the run game with those combinations with both the center and the tackle to create movement to really establish that run game early. He's a big man to run behind, and having that movement and anchoring in the pocket is critical.
One of the guys we touched on a couple weeks ago about almost irreplaceable Andrew Billings. He was on the injury report. Looks like he's going to be okay, but it makes you nervous because, again, there's nobody like him on the roster.
Yeah, the juggernaut. He's he is playing really, really well. He's highly disruptive in the run game, and it's been really cool to see him improve as a pass rusher too, denting that pocket, and that creates a short edge for the outside guys as they turn the corner. So he's doing a great job healing up quickly, and looking for him to have another good game.
All right, let's talk about the Rams. Sean McVay, impressive coach. I mean, still one of the youngest in the league to get all this done, and he's recreating a new roster. There's 17 rookies on this team, right up your alley, building with young guys, right? Undrafted free agents across the board here, but a really good quarterback. What are we looking at today?
Sean's done a great job for a long period of time. Real creative, and been able to adapt and adjust with the guys that he has on the roster to win football games. And we saw it last week in that comeback win versus the 49ers. So we got to be ready to play. For Matthew Stafford, pro's pro, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, has put up great numbers for a long period of time. Is capable of putting his team in a position to win, regardless if they're young or old. So our defense is got a big challenge ahead of them.
I know it's only the first month, but getting back to 2-2, it is critical, isn't it?
Yeah, critical. Get back to 2-2, get back to winning ways, and create some momentum as we finish up September. Again, September's I want to start hot and be 4-0. That's always great. But can we figure out who we are by the end of this month is big. So today we need to do that, solidify that, and create some momentum as we move into October.
All right, Scout Side, Jared Verse. I put him on tape and I get nervous.
Yeah, Verse is something else. We had him here for a visit last year. We wanted to keep him here because not only the way that he plays, but the man that he is too. He's one of those draft crushes that you have and you admire as you watch play for other teams. But we need to make sure he's got a quiet day today. But what he has power and he's got an explosion. So our tackles are going to have to anchor up, use their hands to make sure they keep him away from our quarterback. He's got closing speed and burst. So he's a handful. He's going to be really good as he moves through his career.
All right, good luck. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
That's Bears General Manager Ryan Poles. Mark, back to you.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. There he is, Ryan Poles. We'll talk about him.